If you want to teach your children what a narcissist looks like, then show them a picture of this man living at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Kids, this man is a classic narcissist, a person who's more interested in himself than the health of his country or his community, a person who looks in the mirror and sees no flaws, blames other people for their problems, a man who is free of sin. A narcissist in the White House is currently destroying our nation, a guy who just admitted on camera that when he was 6 years old, he founded NATO. And he admitted that he pushed to have NATO expand in order to provoke Putin into war. Yes, he admitted it. But can you serve the next 4 years, Mr. President? You have dementia and you don't know where you are.
Elections are about the future, not the past. They're about tomorrow, not yesterday. And the question on so many people's minds right now is, can you serve effectively for the next 4 years?
George, I'm the guy that put NATO together, the future. No one thought I could expand it. I'm the guy that shut Putin down.
What? You shut Putin down? I hate to break it to you, Mr. President, but you've officially made Putin stronger than ever in Russia, destroying Ukraine, driving the US dollar right into the toilet with massive inflation. That's on you, Mr. Biden. That's why gold just hit a new all-time high this week. Mr. President, you did not shut Putin down, you shut America down. Folks, there's real panic now setting in across America as President Joe Biden refuses to step down, refuses to do the right thing. And we have a few big developing stories unfolding this weekend that are pretty crazy, and I want to cover them for you today. While you were busy, of course, enjoying your overpriced 4th of July barbecue, the price of meat has tripled. I don't know if you've noticed, thanks to Bidenomics. A bombshell report hit Washington this weekend, and you might actually have missed it while you were spending time with your family. So the Washington Post is reporting this bombshell. Top Democratic donors are up in arms, openly demanding that President Biden now step aside right now for the sake of the party and for the sake of the country. Yes, you heard that right. Democratic donors are saying enough is enough, and they're holding back their money, huge amounts of money. No money means no campaign ads. No money means you can't pay people off, right? So in a shocking letter to the White House, influential Democratic donors made it clear that they would not finance the party's 2024 campaign until Biden steps down. Can you believe it? The very same people who put Biden in office are now turning their backs on him. He served his purpose. You know, as Tucker pointed out, it's as if the whole time they've been willfully ignorant that this was happening.
But I watched CNN today, and they had the presidential debate, the U.S. presidential debate. And maybe some of you saw it, and if you did, well, it was amazing. It was amazing on every level. But what was especially amazing was afterward they went to the panel of assembled Democratic operatives posing as journalists, and all of them were shocked to discover that Joe Biden has dementia. They couldn't believe it. What? Oh my gosh! He's non-compos mentis! No way! Are you serious?
Telling us it's simply a stutter. He's just stuttering. We didn't know that Biden's brain was a pile of pudding, but it goes beyond the donors. CNBC also reports that retail investors are in full-blown panic mode. Yes, the average investor who has a little bit of money to invest right now, they're in panic mode right now. So when hedge funds start dumping record amounts of tech stocks like there's no tomorrow, you know something's up. What does this have to do with Joe Biden, you might be asking? Well, let's paint the picture for you. The backbone of the Democratic Party is quaking because investors lack confidence in Joe Biden's ability to lead the nation out of its economic woes. Jerome Powell in Europe this week says we are on an unsustainable path.
The United States is running a very large deficit at a time when we're at full employment, and it just is, the level of debt that we have is not unsustainable. The path that we're on is unsustainable. That's completely non-controversial.
Yes, that's why experts are now predicting interest rate cuts as soon as September, now because of this inflationary crisis. This will drive investors away from the US dollar and into gold. As Zero Hedge reports, hedge funds are offloading tech stocks at a record pace and flooding the market. That's leaving retail investors holding the bag. They're getting screwed. It's a financial disaster in the making, folks. And people are suffering. Wall Street jitters reflect Main Street fears. It's more than just poor leadership. It's about a president so blinded by his own self-interest that he can't see the country falling apart before his eyes. I mean, just look at the national debt right here over my shoulder. Despite all of the data is pointing right now towards a meltdown, President Biden refuses to step aside. This is classic narcissism, folks. Even CNN's Dr. Gupta is calling for Biden to undergo a cognitive test and tell the world the results.
Now, if he were my patient, if he were my dad, frankly, I would want to get more testing done. Cognitive testing and more detailed movement disorder testing as well.
But you know he won't do that, and it's pretty bad that CNN is calling for this.
I know your doctor said he consulted with a neurologist. I guess I'm asking a slightly different question. Have you had the specific cognitive tests, and have you had a neurologist, a specialist, do an examination?
No one said I had to. No one said, they said I'm good.
Would you be willing to undergo an independent medical evaluation that included neurological and cognitive tests and release the results to the American people?
Look, I have a cognitive test every single day. Every day I have that test.
And even CNBC's own investigative report tells us that the Democratic Party is at a total panic standstill right now. Major donors, who were the lifeline of the 2020 campaign, are now yanking the financial rug out from underneath Biden. Even the heiress of Disney says she's withholding money until Biden drops out. This is unprecedented. Disney, one of the most woke organizations in the world, is holding money away from Biden? We are standing on the edge of an economic cliff right now. But don't worry, Biden believes he has the full support of his party.
That Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man. We've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too. Mark and I have a different perspective. I respect him.
And if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi come down and say, we're worried that if you stay in the race, we're going to lose the House and the Senate, how will you respond?
I go into detail with them. I've spoken to all of them in detail, including Jim Clyburn. Every one of them. They all said I should stay in the race.
Can you believe the nerve? Who's feeding this man his lines? Axios recently released a piece outlining Biden's apparent disregard for genuine concerns from his own party. The party is splintering, donors are ditching, and the American people are caught in the crossfire. So why won't Biden listen? There's only one explanation. He's a demented narcissist, perhaps the worst kind of narcissist. A narcissist can't put the needs of others first, even when the country's future is on the line.
You know, the heart of your case against Donald Trump is that he's only out for himself, putting his personal interest ahead of the national interest. How do you respond to critics who say that by staying in the race, you're doing the same thing?
Oh, come on. Well, I don't think those critics know what they're talking about.
This is textbook psychology, folks. Biden is more concerned with his legacy than the people he was elected to serve. History will remember this, and not kindly. The man occupying the Oval Office refuses to bow out gracefully, put the nation's well-being first instead of himself. America, it is time to wake up right now. That's the news update part of today's video. Now I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is tied directly to the off-the-charts demand for gold right now. We are at an historic moment. And this company that I found is sitting on a potential gold mine of the highest grade of gold in the world, and it's in New Zealand. Now, this company is called Rua Gold, R-U-A Gold. And if you're an investor, you need to pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because here's their ticker on your screen. Take a look. I love investing in gold, and I love gold companies that bring the gold out of the ground and are operational or have near-term plans to go into production to start bringing the gold out of the ground. I like investing in those guys before they do that because you see huge upside potential there, right? I personally love to invest before they start drilling because historically, that's when I see the biggest upside in share price. So let me tell you why I'm so bullish on Rua Gold. This company is about to bring into production 4 gold mines in New Zealand. And just so you understand, New Zealand has been like a liberal heaven. I'm talking worse than San Francisco or Portland, Oregon. You know, don't touch the Kiwis, don't drill for minerals, take as many COVID shots as your arm will take till it falls off, wear masks, lock down your family, LGBTQ plus pride flag crosswalks all over the country. Seriously, New Zealand was a liberal's paradise, but that's all changing. The country realized finally that it's sitting on the highest grade minerals in the world. They can't rely on other countries. They need to drill for themselves. And the highest grade gold in the world sits in New Zealand. I'm talking about gold that is 20 to 50 times higher grade than gold anywhere in the world. And Rua Gold owns 4 historical past producing mines that stopped production back in the 1950s, decades ago, back when the technology didn't exist to go deeper, after they hit a fault line and an aquifer that flooded the mines. Back when, if you had a mine that flooded with water, they couldn't do anything about it. That was it. The mine flooded and you had to abandon the mine. Imagine that. Imagine hitting gold and then it floods and you can't do anything about it. Well, that was then, and this is now. There could be many more ounces of gold in the ground, but no one has drilled it in decades. So it's a really remarkable moment. Now, Rua Gold has bought 4 abandoned gold mines for a dirt cheap price, and they're starting to drill right now using the best drilling technology available. And if they hit a mega discovery, there's potential for them to become one of the biggest producers of gold in New Zealand in a few years' time. Of course, they could hit nothing. 0. But remember, these are past producing mines. Remember, they were producing gold until they shut production down, and drilling right next door at one of the other mines has led to massive results recently. So if I'm a betting man, I'm betting that they find something. The reason I'm so bullish on this company, and I asked them to sponsor today's video, is they're starting at the 10-yard line, guys. They're just one short pass away from the end zone. They're not just blindly drilling in some random spot. No. These 4 mines were gold-producing mines back in the day until they flooded. And the tech didn't exist then to help them proceed deeper. But today in 2024, when a mine floods, no one cares because they just pump it out and they continue the work. Like, oh, flood? Who cares? We got the technology. Who cares? So guys, if they hit a gold vein, then this could be a massive game changer for the stock. Right now, it's trading at only 14 cents a share. This company is up 31% this year alone, and for good reason. The best part is that I guarantee you've never even heard of this company, Rua Gold. It has a remarkable management team, remarkable. So members of the management team have either worked for billion-dollar producers, sold billion-dollar producers, or were instrumental in building billion-dollar producers. It's the entrepreneurs that I like to invest in. And the engineering team and management team have vast experience doing all of this before. So look at these guys. Oliver, the chairman, former chairman of Frontier Gold, he sold that company for billions of dollars, and now he's the chairman of Rua Gold. Eric Sprott, the legend in the mining world. You know I've talked about Eric Sprott for years here on the show. I'm a huge fan of the guy. He's a billionaire, one of the smartest miners out there, and he's a shareholder in Rua Gold. But wait, there's more. Mario Vitro, he's the co-founder of K92 Mining, a multi-million-dollar mining company. He's a co-founder of this company now, Rua Gold. And one more, the CEO, Robert Eckford. He was the co-founder of Aris Mining. He gave up a $50,000 base monthly salary per month and bonuses to join Rua Gold. He gave up that cushy salary just to join Rua Gold because the opportunity is phenomenal and could bring in millions of dollars in stock options. So they all know there is huge potential here as they start drilling. So guys, here's their stock ticker on your screen right now. Do your own due diligence on this company. I'll have their website linked up below in the description so you can study all of their latest drilling projects for yourself. You can go over the company's financials, study this yourself. Guys, there are 2 big catalysts right now for this stock. Gold just hit a new all-time high this week. Gold stocks up 25% in the past week. And Rua Gold is starting to drill right now in these 4 mines as we speak. It truly doesn't get any better than this. Anyways, guys, I want you to do your own homework on this, study this, and we'll have it linked up in the description below, and we'll see you next time, everyone.